Welcome back to another collective alignment reading. In these collective alignment readings, what I aim to do is to clarify, illuminate a particular situation on behalf of a group of people that may be experiencing this situation in their own unique way. Not just that, not just validating what someone's experiencing and what they're going through internally, but also presenting what this situation is actually asking for you to move forward, to allow this situation to move forward in an aligned way. So in the most easeful, in-flow way, and how this situation is actually asking for growth to happen here, right? So let's begin, let's tune in. This situation here, before I even go on, I can understand this situation. I'm connecting to a legal situation, a situation that has been very trying. There's been a lot of emotions. There's been a long battle. A separation, a family separation's happened. A home has kind of broken down. But at the same time, a new life is emerging here, and what I'm really being called to speak into here in terms of what this situation is asking of you. I understand this has been a long, trying legal battle. There's been a lot of emotions and a personal agenda of this is what I want versus this is what you want. So there's been a lot of conflict going on. There's potentially children in this separation, so it's kind of the custody battle. There's all this stuff that goes on that tends to happen when the either party, whether it's you I'm speaking to or your partner in this situation, attempts to steamroll, or if both people are steamrolling, there's a lot of forceful, conflicting energy where it's just like, here's what I want, here's what I want, and it's like this, there's no give, there's no listening, there's just, here's what I want. And that's why the legal situation happens, because both parties involved can't actually listen to each other. They can't communicate. They're struggling to communicate, even though they really want to be able to listen to each other and actually get whatever needs and wants and to be heard. That's what's obviously being asked here. Even though you've been through this long battle, and I know that you're really at the end of it now, the situation here is really being asked for now in terms of moving forward into this new life that now, immediately starts taking shape. The old one's falling away. You need to let go of the old one, as hard as that is, and taking the time to allow the separation to start to kind of organically help create what's here to be building now, this new life that's here for you, for your family, this new version of family life, right? The advice really here is, in order to really decide what is truly best in this family separation situation, that rhymed, is if it requires time to allow the dust to settle, to be able to reflect on why this situation was such a trying, hard battle between two people, why a legal situation and a process like this was even necessary to begin with, why there was so much conflict and tension. That's what needs to be reflected on, because if you don't want to take that kind of energy forward into how to build this new life, you don't have to. It's not, even though it may feel like to you personally, well, I've got to continue this fight, right? And you're literally with your metaphorical fists up in the air, ready to continue the battle. You don't have to, right? But only if both you and the other party involved can allow their all personal feelings and emotions to settle, and to really learn and reflect on what was it that you were doing, that how did you contribute to the conflict, right? Because both parties were contributing, which is why all of this was required in the first place, why the legal system had to get involved. But again, it doesn't need to continue in that way. This situation can be figured out between the both of you if you start to take a step back from all personal perception and projections onto this situation. Stop trying to force and steamroll your own desires, needs, and wants into this situation, and just kind of allow the dust to settle, right? The old life is starting to fall away as the new one begins to unfold. It may feel unstable at the moment, but that's all part of the process. That's all part of the process. We don't just go from one life falling away and the new life completely building itself up the next day. This is an organic, slow, easeful process where you will now, over time, begin feeling into what feels really true and right to you. Once all the noise of this situation can clear, emotional noise, mental noise, once it can clear, then you can clearly see how you actually want to move forward. You can speak to each other in a really clear way, and the importance here is that you can listen to the other person. You can collaborate. You don't need to kind of have lawyers involved if you don't want to, And I know this is not easy. I didn't say to be easy to do things in a aligned way, but of course the aligned way is always the truthful way. It's always, removes any form of, ego or perception of me first, and it's a easeful, collaborative effort, but it requires clarity. And so let this reading be the clarity that allows you to take the time out that you need in order to reapproach how to rebuild this new life, this new family life, but from a place of clarity, and take the time out that you need to do that. There's no need to rush this and force this and what have you, because the funny thing with getting what you want in whatever situation in life, it doesn't ever, or it can happen without forcing it. Forcing it creates tension and conflict and stress and makes us feel sicker. But the more that we can relax and trust and, approach things in love and with collaboration, and by working, with an open heart and open mind, magic can happen and unfold far more gracefully and easily and in flow than having to come in like a steamroller train and like, this is how I want things to be and this is how it wants to happen, because we can neutralize conflict by allowing your needs and wants to be your own and someone else's needs and wants to be their own, and finding a way for them to collaborate. So that's the main message here. Take the time, allow this new life to develop organically. Let go of any force and any personal conflictual energy. If you can feel yourself feeling that way, take more time out. Allow the new life to start to kind of to feel into it. Allow it to come to you as it feels right, and allow clarity to re-emerge, because it's just going to be a moment, a time of reflection now, and being patient with the process. So for now, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening. Hoping this reading was served you in whatever way it was meant to, and that you took from it. For personal readings, please see the link in my bio. Until the next one.